Alex Morgan stood at the viewport of the transport shuttle, watching as Centauri Prime grew larger in the distance. The blue-green planet shimmered against the blackness of space, its 3 moons forming a perfect triangle in orbit. His heart beat faster. After 6 months of travel, he was finally arriving at the Federation Pilot Academy. "First time seeing Centauri Prime?" asked the shuttle pilot, a tall, thin alien with pale blue skin. "Yes," Alex replied. "First human to see it from this particular seat, I'm told." The pilot made a clicking sound that might have been laughter. "Indeed. First human pilot candidate in Academy history. You're quite the curiosity." Alex had heard that enough times during his journey. Earth had joined the Federation just 2 years ago, the 13th and newest member of the Galactic Alliance. According to the Federation Charter, each member race needed representation in all divisions, including the pilot corps. No one had expected a human to qualify so quickly. The shuttle docked with a gentle bump. Alex grabbed his small bag and followed the signs to arrivals. The air smelled different here, cleaner, with a hint of something like mint. The gravity was slightly stronger than Earth's, making his steps feel heavier. A Federation official waited at the gate holding a tablet. She had 4 arms and skin that shifted colors as she moved. "Lieutenant Morgan? I am Officer Prell. Welcome to Centauri Prime." Her translator device gave her a flat, emotionless voice. "Your arrival is unexpected." "Unexpected? But I was approved 3 months ago." "Yes, approved, but not anticipated to actually appear." Officer Prell's skin flickered to a deeper blue. "Follow me. Commander Vexalathor is waiting." Alex walked through wide hallways filled with beings from a dozen different worlds. Some floated rather than walked. Others moved on multiple legs or glided along the floor. All of them stopped to stare at him as he passed. Officer Prell led him to a large office with views of the Academy grounds. A massive being stood by the window, nearly 7 feet tall with gray skin that looked like stone and eyes that glowed yellow. "Commander Vexalathor, the human pilot candidate, Lieutenant Alex Morgan," Prell announced. The commander turned slowly. "So Earth actually sent someone. Interesting." His voice rumbled like distant thunder. "Do you know, Lieutenant, that the Federation has existed for 12,000 years? In that time we have perfected space travel, unified physics, and created the safest transportation network in the known galaxy." "Yes, sir. That's why I'm honored to." "And yet Earth, barely able to reach its own moon a century ago, believes it can contribute to our pilot corps." The commander leaned forward. "Your species lacks the neural adaptations for proper ship interface. Your reaction times are substandard. Your understanding of quantum principles is elementary at best." Alex stood straight, meeting those yellow eyes. "With respect, Commander, we qualified under Federation standards. On paper, yes, the reality will be different." Commander Vexalathor tapped a screen on his desk. "You are assigned to Dormitory Block 7. Your roommate is Cadet Zithara, a Proximan 3rd year. Classes begin tomorrow. You have access to levels 1 through 3 only. Dismissed." Alex found his way to the dormitory, a sleek building of white stone and glass. Inside room 712, he met Zithara, a friendly alien with feathery orange skin and large amber eyes. A human roommate. How fascinating. Zithara extended a 3-fingered hand. "We've all been wondering when we'd meet one of you. Seems like most people weren't expecting me to show up at all," Alex said, shaking the offered hand. Zithara nodded. "The Academy rarely accepts new species candidates. Most fail within weeks." His voice dropped lower. "Especially the simulator. No first attempt passes in 6 years. What's so hard about this simulator? No one knows until they try it, and everyone only gets 3 attempts." Zithara's feathers rippled. "Though I hear humans will only get 1 shot." "1? Why?" "Official. Reason? Resource allocation." Zithara tilted his head. "Unofficial reason? No one thinks you'll pass anyway. Why waste the time?" Alex set his bag down on the empty bed. "Well, then I better make that 1 shot count." Alex woke to the sound of a soft chime. The room's lights came on slowly, adjusting to a brightness that made him squint. Across the room, Zithara was already up, his feathery skin glowing slightly in the dim light. "First day," Zithara said cheerfully. "You should eat before class. Federation food might be strange to you." The dining hall was enormous, with tall windows showing the 3 moons of Centauri Prime hanging in the morning sky. Hundreds of beings from different species sat at long tables. Most of them stared when Alex walked in. "Don't mind them," Zithara said. "They're just curious. Many have never seen a human before." Alex took a tray and looked at the food options. Some items moved slightly, others glowed. He chose something that looked like blue oatmeal and sat down next to Zithara. "What's Archeo?" "First class?" Alex asked. "Quantum flight theory with Professor Nethra. She's tough but fair." Zithara pointed to a table where several official-looking aliens sat. "Those are your instructors. The one with silver skin is Professor Nethra." Professor Nethra was speaking with Commander Vexalather. They both looked over at Alex, then quickly turned away. "I don't think the commander likes me much," Alex said. "Commander Vexalather doesn't like anyone much," Zithara replied. "But he especially doesn't like surprises. And you, my friend, are definitely a surprise." The classroom was set up like an amphitheater, with seats circling down to a central platform. Alex sat beside Zithara near the back. The other students kept their distance, but he could feel them watching him. Professor Nethra floated to the center platform. Her silver skin reflected the room's lights, making her seem to glow. "Today we begin our study of advanced quantum navigational principles," she said. "As a reminder, these concepts build upon basic field theory, which you should have mastered in your first year." Alex frowned. He had studied the materials sent to him before leaving Earth, but they hadn't mentioned anything about quantum field theory. He took out his tablet and tried to follow along. An hour later, his head hurt. The professor talked about concepts that seemed to contradict everything he had learned about physics on Earth. When she showed equations for calculating jump trajectories through something called fold space, Alex raised his hand. "Yes, the human cadet," Professor Nethra said, her voice cool. "I'm sorry, but these equations assume that mass becomes irrelevant during fold transition." "How is that possible?" The room went silent. Several students made sounds that might have been laughter. "That is basic first-year knowledge," Professor Nethra said. "Perhaps you should review before asking questions." After class, a tall cadet with green scales blocked Alex's path. "Humans don't belong here," he hissed. "You can't even interface with our ships properly. Your brains aren't compatible." "Leave him alone, Draz," Zithara said. "He passed the same entrance exams as you." "Written exams," Draz sneered. "Let's see how he does in practical training." Practical training was in a huge hangar filled with small practice vessels. An instructor named Lieutenant K stood next to a row of simulator pods. "These are Level 1 flight simulators," Lieutenant K explained. "Simple exercises to test basic control. Morgan, you're first." Alex climbed into the pod. Inside was a strange setup. No traditional controls, just 2 gel-filled impressions where his hands were supposed to go, and a helmet with no view screen. "Place your hands in the neural interface and put on the helmet," Lieutenant K instructed. Alex did as he was told. Nothing happened. "You need to open your neural pathways," Lieutenant K said, sounding annoyed. "I don't know how to do that," Alex admitted. More laughter from the other cadets. "Humans don't have the same neural adaptations," a voice said from the doorway. A human woman about Alex's age stood there. She wore a blue Federation uniform with a different insignia. "He'll need the modified interface." Lieutenant K frowned. "And you are?" "Kira Bennett, Cultural Liaison Office. I've been assigned to assist with human integration." She walked over to Alex and handed him what looked like fingerless gloves. "Try these. They convert physical movements to neural signals." Alex put them on and placed his hands back in the gel impressions. This time the helmet lit up, showing him a view of space. "Now," Kira said softly, "show them what humans can do." With the modified gloves, Alex completed the basic flight exercise better than anyone expected. He wasn't the best in the class, but he wasn't the worst either. Lieutenant K seemed surprised, though he tried not to show it. "Not terrible," he said when Alex finished. "For a human." After class, Kira Bennett waited for Alex in the hallway. "Thanks for the help," Alex said. "I would have failed without those gloves." "No problem, that's why I'm here." Kira smiled. She had dark hair pulled back in a simple style and friendly brown eyes. "I'm the daughter of Earth's ambassador. I grew up around aliens, so they asked me to help with cultural issues." "Like humans, not having fancy neural connections?" Alex asked. "Exactly. The Federation species evolved differently than us. Most of them developed technology alongside their biology." Kira nodded toward a quiet area. "Can we talk? I think there's something you should know." They walked to a small garden area. Plants with strange shapes and colors grew in neat patterns. A fountain made of floating water drops hung in the air. "The Academy wasn't happy about accepting you," Kira said. "Not just because you're human, but because of how humans approach flying." "What do you mean?" "I've been studying Federation records. Did you know that humans are the only species that had thousands of years of atmospheric flight before space travel?" Alex frowned. "That can't be right. Flying is a natural step. Before space travel, not for them." Kira pulled out a tablet and showed him images. Arcturians like Commander Vexelather evolved on a high-gravity world. They never built aircraft. They went straight to anti-gravity when their technology advanced enough. She swiped to another image. Proximans like Zithara come from a world with almost no atmosphere, no flying creatures at all. And Draz's people evolved underwater before moving to land. They think of movement completely differently than we do. "So what does this mean for me?" Alex asked. "It means their ideas about piloting are different. For them, piloting is about managing systems and letting computers do the work. The neural interfaces are perfect for that." Kira looked at him seriously. "But humans still think about flying like birds do. We feel the air, the movement. We have instincts they don't understand." Alex thought about this. "So the simulator tests their way of flying, not ours." Over the next few days, Alex spent his free time in the Academy's archives. Kira got him access to historical flight records from all Federation species. What he found surprised him. None of the member races had developed the same relationship with flight that humans had. The Arcturians had gone from ground vehicles directly to space with anti-gravity technology. The Proximans had built massive launchers to escape their world. The aquatic Drenthians had never experienced atmospheric resistance at all. One evening, Alex was sitting with Zithara in their room, making notes on his tablet. "What's that?" Zithara asked, looking at Alex's sketch of an airplane. "It's called an airplane. Early human flying machine." Alex explained how it worked, about wings and lift and air currents. Zithara looked confused. "You mean it stays up without power?" "Well, it needs power to move forward, but the staying up part is just physics. Air pressure and shape." On impulse, Alex took a piece of paper and folded it into a simple paper airplane. He tossed it across the room. It glided smoothly before landing on Zithara's bed. Zithara's feathers stood up in shock. "That's impossible. It has no power source." "It doesn't need one. It's using the air itself." Zithara picked up the paper airplane with gentle fingers, examining it from all angles. "This is how humans think about movement? Using the environment instead of fighting it?" "I guess so. We never thought about it much." Alex smiled. "Maybe that's why I'm having trouble with your flight theories. We're starting from different places." Zithara looked at Alex with new respect. "Maybe that's exactly what we need. A different way of thinking." 2 weeks passed. Alex got better at using the modified interface gloves. His scores in the basic flight exercises improved each day. The other cadets stopped laughing, though many still kept their distance. One evening, Alex sat in the study hall looking at past simulator test results. Kira had helped him gain access to these records. "See this pattern?" he said to Kira, pointing at his screen. "All these pilots failed at the same point, when multiple systems break down at once." Kira nodded. Federation protocol says to handle failures in order of priority. But what if the priorities conflict? What if you can't follow the standard order? Then you follow emergency override protocol, Kira said. That's what they teach. Alex frowned. But these records show that doesn't work either. Look at Cadet Lorne from last year, perfect scores in every class. Still failed the simulator, 3 times. A shadow fell across their table. Lieutenant K stood there, arms crossed. Finding anything interesting in those records, Morgan? His voice was cold. Just studying, sir, Alex replied. The simulator isn't something you can study for. Lieutenant K leaned closer. It tests your ability to follow protocol under pressure. Nothing more, nothing less. After he left, Alex whispered to Kira, I don't think that's true. I think the simulator is designed to create situations where protocol fails. Why would they do that? To test if pilots can think beyond their training. Alex tapped his screen. But Federation species are taught from birth to trust systems more than instincts. They can't break protocol even when they should. The next day, during flight theory class, Alex raised his hand. Yes, Cadet Morgan, Professor Nethra said. What happens if the ship's AI gives you bad advice? The classroom went quiet. Professor Nethra's silver skin rippled. Federation ship AIs do not give bad advice, she said. They process all variables according to tested protocols. But what if there's a situation the protocols don't cover? Alex asked. There is no such situation. The professor's voice was firm. Every possible space emergency has been cataloged and solved. The proper response is programmed into both the AI and your training. Alex wanted to argue but could see it was pointless. After class, Draz bumped into him in the hallway. Asking stupid questions again, human? The simulator will put you in your place. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. He slipped out of his room, careful not to wake Zithara. He had noticed that the simulator room was left unlocked at night, though the machines were powered down. He made his way through the quiet hallways. The academy was different at night, with dim blue lights and few people around. He reached the simulator room and went inside. The main simulator, the one used for the final test, was larger than the practice pods. Alex walked around it, studying its design. Unlike the practice pods, this one had physical backup controls hidden under a panel. Looking for secrets? A voice asked. Alex jumped. Kira stood in the doorway. I just wanted to see it up close, he said. Kira came in and closed the door. I know what you're thinking. You want to find a way to beat it. I want to understand it, Alex corrected. Look at this. He pointed to the backup controls. Why? Have these if pilots are supposed to use only neural interfaces. Emergency systems, Kira said. In case the interface fails. But they're actual controls. Levers, buttons, a steering column, like old Earth spacecraft. Kira looked thoughtful. Maybe the designer had a reason. Alex ran his hand over the controls. The simulator is supposed to test how we handle unexpected problems, right? But if you're trained to always follow protocol, then nothing is ever truly unexpected. What are you saying? I'm saying that humans are good at dealing with the unexpected because we expect things to go wrong. Alex smiled. We don't trust systems as much as we trust ourselves. The test is in 3 days, Kira said. Everyone's saying it's impossible for a human to pass. Maybe impossible for a human who tries to fly like an alien, Alex replied, but not for a human who flies like a human. The day of the simulation test arrived. Alex woke early, his stomach tight with nerves. Zithara was already up, his feathers fluffed out in what Alex had learned was a sign of anxiety. Big day, Zithara said, for both of us. You'll do great, Alex told his roommate. It's your second attempt, right? Zithara nodded. Most cadets fail the first try. I studied extra hard after my first failure. They walked to the dining hall together. No one was talking much this morning. Even Draz looked worried as he picked at his food. At exactly 9th hour, Commander Vexelathor entered the hall. The room went silent. Cadets, he said, his deep voice filling the space. Today you face the Federation pilot simulator. This test, will determine if you have what it takes to pilot Federation ships. His yellow eyes scanned the room. The test will begin with Cadet Zithara, followed by cadets in alphabetical order. He paused, looking directly at Alex. Except for Cadet Morgan, who will go last. Whispers broke out around the room. Going last was considered either an honor or a punishment, depending on who you asked. The cadets filed into the observation room, next to the simulator. One wall was transparent, showing the large simulator pod. Screens displayed vital signs and test metrics. Cadet Zithara, you may begin, Commander Vexelathor announced. Zithara entered the simulator. On the screens, Alex could see his friend navigate through the first challenges smoothly. Simple navigation, then a power fluctuation, then a minor course correction. But then multiple systems began to fail at once. Zithara's heart rate spiked. His hands moved frantically over the controls. The screen flashed red. Simulation failed, a computerized voice announced. Zithara emerged, his feathers flat against his body in defeat. I followed every protocol, he whispered as he passed Alex. It wasn't enough. One by one, each cadet entered the simulator. One by one, they failed. Some lasted longer than others. Draz made it further than most before his simulation also ended in failure. By midday, 20 cadets had tried. None had passed. Cadet Morgan, Commander Vexelathor called finally. Your turn. The room was tense. No one had seen a human take the test before. Many of the alien cadets seemed interested despite themselves. Kira appeared at Alex's side. Remember what you learned, she said softly. You don't have to fly like them. Lieutenant K was checking the simulator settings. Sir, he said to Commander Vexelathor, should we adjust the parameters for the human? No, the commander replied. The test is standardized for a reason. Though I will remind everyone that, as a courtesy, human candidates are only required to take the test once. Alex felt the eyes of every cadet on him as he walked to the simulator. Through the transparent wall, he could see instructors and senior officers who had come to watch. One of them, he noticed, was an older alien with patches on his uniform that Alex didn't recognize. Inside the simulator, Alex sat in the pilot's seat. It was designed for beings of various shapes, with adjustable positions. He put on the helmet and special gloves Kira had given him. The simulator hummed to life. The inside of the helmet lit up, showing him a starfield. A ship's control panel appeared before him. Simulation beginning, said the computer voice. Level 1 navigation test initiating. Alex took a deep breath. He had practiced in the smaller simulators, but this was different, more real, more complex. Pilot, set course for Proxima Station, the computer instructed. Alex moved his gloved hands through the interface. The ship responded, turning toward the distant station shown on his display. Outside the simulator, Commander Vexelathor watched the screens. With narrowed eyes. He's doing well on the basics, Lieutenant K noted, sounding surprised. The basics are not the test, the commander replied. Let's see how he handles what comes next. The day of the simulation test arrived. Alex woke early, his stomach tight, with nerves. Zithara was already up, his feathers fluffed out, and what Alex had learned was a sign of anxiety. Big day, Zithara said. For both of us. You'll do great, Alex told his roommate. It's your second attempt, right? Zithara nodded. Most cadets fail the first try. I studied extra hard after my first failure. They walked to the dining hall together. No one was talking much this morning. Even Draz looked worried as he picked at his food. At exactly 9th hour, Commander Vexelathor entered the hall. The room went silent. Cadets, he said, his deep voice filling the space. Today you face the Federation pilot simulator. This test will determine if you have what it takes to pilot Federation ships. His yellow eyes scanned the room. The test will begin with Cadet Zithara, followed by cadets in alphabetical order. He paused, looking directly at Alex. Except for Cadet Morgan, who will go last. Whispers broke out around the room. Going last was considered either an honor or a punishment, depending on who you asked. The cadets filed into the observation room, next to the simulator. One wall was transparent, showing the large simulator pod. Screens displayed vital signs and test metrics. Cadet Zithara, you may begin, Commander Vexelathor announced. Zithara entered the simulator. On the screens, Alex could see his friend navigate through the first challenges smoothly. Simple navigation, then a power fluctuation, then a minor course correction. But then multiple systems began to fail at once. Zithara's heart rate spiked. His hands moved frantically over the controls. The screen flashed red. Simulation failed, a computerized voice announced. Zithara emerged, his feathers flat against his body in defeat. I followed every protocol, he whispered as he passed Alex. It wasn't enough. One by one, each cadet entered the simulator. One by one, they failed. Some lasted longer than others. Draz made it further than most before his simulation also ended in failure. By midday, 20 cadets had tried. None had passed. Cadet Morgan, Commander Vexelathor called finally. Your turn. The room was tense. No one had seen a human take the test before. Many of the alien cadets seemed interested despite themselves. Kira appeared at Alex's side. Remember what you learned, she said softly. You don't have to fly like them. Lieutenant K was checking the simulator settings. Sir, he said to Commander Vexelathor, should we adjust the parameters for the human? No, the commander replied. The test is standardized for a reason. Though I will remind everyone that, as a courtesy, human candidates are only required to take the test once. Alex felt the eyes of every cadet on him as he walked to the simulator. Through the transparent wall, he could see instructors and senior officers who had come to watch. One of them, he noticed, was an older alien with patches on his uniform that Alex didn't recognize. Inside the simulator, Alex sat in the pilot's seat. It was designed for beings of various shapes, with adjustable positions. He put on the helmet and special gloves Kira had given him. The simulator hummed to life. The inside of the helmet lit up, showing him a starfield. A ship's control panel appeared before him. Simulation beginning, said the computer voice. Level 1 navigation test initiating. Alex took a deep breath. He had practiced in the smaller simulators, but this was different. More real. More complex. Pilot, set course for Proxima Station, the computer instructed. Alex moved his gloved hands through the interface. The ship responded, turning toward the distant station shown on his display. Outside the simulator, Commander Vexelathor watched. The screens with narrowed eyes. He's doing well on the basics, Lieutenant K noted, sounding surprised. The basics are not the test, the commander replied. Let's see how he handles what comes next. For several long moments, no one spoke. The cadets stared at Alex. The instructors looked at each other in confusion. Commander Vexelathor's face was frozen in an expression Alex couldn't read. This is impossible, Lieutenant K finally said. The scenario was designed to be unbeatable. Clearly not, said the older alien with the special patches whom Alex had noticed earlier. He stepped forward. I am Admiral Grell, Oversight Committee for the Academy, and I am very interested in how you manage this, Cadet Morgan. Commander, Vexelathor seemed to recover himself. There must be a malfunction in the simulator. Technical crew full diagnostic now. Several technicians rushed to check the simulator's systems. Alex stood awkwardly in the center of the room while everyone waited. Kira caught his eye and gave him a small smile. After 10 minutes, the lead technician looked up from his tablet. No malfunction detected, Commander. The simulator was functioning exactly as designed. Then explain how he passed an impossible test, Commander Vexelathor demanded. I'd like to know that too, Admiral Grell said, turning to Alex. Cadet, explain your approach. Alex took a deep breath. I noticed that the simulation creates scenarios where following standard protocol becomes impossible. Too many systems fail at once to handle them in the prescribed order. That's the point, Lieutenant K said. In a real emergency, you follow protocol for the highest priority system first. But what if that takes too long? Alex asked. What if addressing one system by protocol means you lose the chance to save others? The protocols are designed, Lieutenant K began. The protocols are designed for ships with functioning systems, Alex interrupted. But in the real world, sometimes everything fails at once. When that happened, I treated the ship like an atmospheric craft. Explain, Admiral Grell said, leaning forward with interest. In atmosphere, a plane can still glide without power. It can use air currents, momentum, and gravity to maintain control. I applied the same principles to space. I used the gravitational pull of the asteroids like air currents. I treated space not as an empty void to be powered through, but as an environment to work with. The room was silent again. Then Zithara spoke up. Like the paper airplane, he said. It doesn't fight physics. It uses physics. Admiral Grell looked confused. Paper airplane? Quickly, Alex folded a piece of paper and launched it across the room. The simple glider soared in a gentle arc before landing at the Admiral's feet. The alien picked it up, examining it with wonder. Fascinating, he said. A flying device with no power source whatsoever. That's how humans first learned to fly, Kira explained, by understanding and using the properties of air itself. Commander Vexelather cleared his throat. This is all very interesting, but it doesn't change the fact that Cadet Morgan ignored protocols and standard procedures. No, Admiral Grell agreed. It shows that he found a solution where protocols failed. Exactly what a pilot needs to do in a true emergency. He turned to the gathered cadets. The purpose of the simulation isn't to test if you can follow rules. It's to see if you can survive when following rules isn't enough. The technicians had been reviewing the simulation data. One of them approached with a tablet. Sir, according to our readings, the humans' approach used 40% less power than standard protocol would require, and the survival rate calculation is higher than any previous attempt. Admiral Grell nodded thoughtfully. It seems we have much to learn from human pilots. He looked at Alex directly. Cadet Morgan, you've shown us something new today. A different way of thinking about space travel. Commander Vexelather's stone-like face showed the first hint of respect. I would not have thought it possible, he admitted. A human passing the simulation on the first attempt, and in a way none of us anticipated, Admiral Grell added. This calls for a full review of our training protocols. He placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. Well done, Cadet. Very well done indeed. Alex felt a surge of pride, not just for himself, but for all of humanity. They had earned their place among the stars. 3 months passed. The Academy had changed since Alex's unexpected success in the simulator. Word spread quickly through the Federation about the human who beat the unbeatable test. Alex sat in Commander Vexelather's office, looking out at the 3 moons of Centauri, Prime. The commander stood beside him, his stone face more relaxed than it had been that first day. Your graduation ceremony is tomorrow, the commander said. The first human to complete Academy training. Thank you, sir, Alex replied. It's been an honor. I must admit I did not expect this outcome when you arrived. The commander turned to face him. The Academy Council has made some decisions I think you should know about. Alex waited, curious. First, future human pilots will only be given 1 attempt at the simulator test. But sir, that's not fair. Everyone else gets 3 tries. The commander's yellow eyes glinted. It is not a punishment, Cadet Morgan. It is a recognition of how humans think. Your approach to the simulator was unique. After reviewing your performance, we realized that humans approach problems differently than our species. Different how? Federation races build perfect systems and follow perfect protocols. When something breaks, we fix it according to established procedures. Commander Vexelather made a rumbling sound that might have been a chuckle. Humans, it seems, expect things to break. You plan for failure before it happens. He tapped a screen on his desk. Since your test, we've had to completely recalibrate the simulator 3 times. Each human candidate has found a different, unexpected solution to the impossible scenario. Is that a problem? Alex asked. It's a revelation, the commander replied. In real emergencies, our crews have started asking a new question when standard protocols fail. What would a human do? Alex smiled. I'm glad we can contribute something useful. More than useful. Commander Vexelathor handed Alex a small badge. This is your assignment after graduation. The Federation cruiser Starward. You'll be the first human pilot on a major Federation vessel. Alex looked at the badge with pride. He had come so far from that first day when everyone expected him to fail. The next morning, graduation day, Alex met Kira in the garden where they had talked about human flight months ago. So the famous Alex Morgan, she said with a smile. Ready for your big day? As ready as I'll ever be. He looked at her curiously. What happens with you now? Will you stay at the academy? Actually, I've been assigned to the Starward too. Cultural liaison officer. She smiled. Someone needs to explain humans to the rest of the crew. And explain the crew to me, Alex added. Later, at the graduation ceremony, Admiral Grell gave a speech. Many important Federation officials attended, including the Earth ambassador, Kira's father. Today marks a turning point for the Federation, Admiral Grell said. For 12,000 years, we believed we had mastered space travel. Then humans joined us and showed us new ways to think about old problems. He gestured to the graduates. These pilots represent the future. Different species, with different approaches working together. Our diversity makes us stronger. After the ceremony, Zithara found Alex in the crowd. First in our class, the Proximan said, his feathers bright with pride. Both of us. You deserved it, Alex said. You worked harder than anyone. I had a good example. Zithara's large eyes were serious. You taught me to think beyond protocols. 2 days later, Alex stood on the bridge of the Starward for the first time. The ship was enormous, far larger than anything humans had built. The captain, a tall Drenthian named Voss, greeted him with respect. Lieutenant Morgan, she said. Welcome aboard. Your station is ready. Alex sat at the pilot's console. It had been modified with manual controls alongside the standard neural interface. The manual controls are new, Captain Voss explained. Admiral Grell ordered them installed on all Federation vessels. He said sometimes we need a human touch. As the Starward prepared to leave orbit, Alex felt a sense of pride not just for himself but for humanity. They had earned respect among the stars not by being the same as everyone else, but by being different, by approaching problems with their unique human perspective. Course laid in, Alex reported. Ready when you are, Captain. Take us out, Lieutenant Morgan, Captain Voss ordered. Show us how a human flies.